Texas Platinum, the last of the real water cooler talk shows on YouTube. We're back in the mix after a Texas win over the Sooners, a beatdown, as we expected, but it just felt so good to finally see us get that revenge. Just Madrid and I today. Trevor's out with I think he's sick, so we're holding it down. But go ahead and like and subscribe and comment before we get into it. We really appreciate all the support that we're getting. We're kind of getting our numbers back up, which is nice. But anyways, this is a big week. This is Georgia week. This is the one we've had circled for a long time, and it's finally here. Texas, #1 in the country. Game day coming to town against #5 Georgia. So this is as big as it gets. This is why Texas joined the SEC for games like these. So I just can't wait to get to Saturday and see how it plays out. But got Madrid here. I'm going to pass it to him. We'll start off with our thoughts on Texas OU. We won't spend too much time on it, but we'll just give our a lot to go over. I know the defense played great. So let me pass it to Madrid. What were your thoughts on Texas OU?
I had a feeling that it was going to be like 2 years ago, the 49-0. I respect OU too much to expect that, but we all knew this was well within the realm of possibilities. Like this was something that we knew was a possibility, and a real one too. We look like the bigger, the faster, and the stronger team. It's not many times you get to say that about playing a rival, but I'm blessed, but we're blessed to have the quality depth that we do and the killers that we do on each level of the ball. I'm happy that we are able to overcome shortcomings real fast. Game kind of started hot. OU. Quinn looked rusty. OU took advantage. A quick 3 points. It looked like they were in. It was going to be one of those games where we were fighting for field position the whole time. But at the end of the day, I think the scheme and the talent just kind of won out on the field last Saturday. I never thought I'd see two games where I'd see the OU side empty so fast. It's just there's fans of OU that have gone to both those games and now live in a world where they have left early from Red River at the third quarter. I don't wish that on anyone's fan base, but that is very funny to watch. But overall, very pleased. I was afraid that we were going to drop the first rivalry game, but you know what? We powered through. So I liked what I saw.
Yeah, no, it started off scary. It started off just like last year, like, oh crap, here we go again. We're really going to do this again. Quinn comes out with happy feet. Rusty throws that pick when he's got guys wide open down the field. And then they went down and took the lead. Our first time trailing all year for about, a minute or two. And then we quickly turned it on. The defense really came to play. I mean, the defense and Ryan Wingo, shout out Ryan Wingo on that slant he caught and took 50 yards. That changed the game for us. That kind of woke us up, and then we just kind of ran away with it from there. But Anthony Hill played his best game as a Longhorn, I think. He's just so good. So fun to watch that guy. We have an NFL player on our team, just as a sophomore, just running our defense. And it's just so fun to watch him fly sideline to sideline, downhill, uphill. And I like how chippy he is out there. Like, he's scrappy. He's like teetering on a flag after every play. He's always talking trash, pushing, but not too much. The perfect balance you want out of your alpha linebacker. And then the rest of the D-line played great, I thought. Vernon Broughton had another great game. Alfred Collins, too. Secondary was locked down per usual. But then again, the quarterback didn't really have a chance to challenge him downfield. I don't know if it's because no one was open. Well, I know that's part of it, but also he's not the greatest downfield passer yet. Although he did complete a lot more passes against Auburn than he did against us downfield. So defense played as good as you could ask for, forced the turnovers, and we turned them into points. Trey Wisner came on. Trey Wisner, I'm not saying he's better than Jaden Blue, but he's more of a Jaden Blue just feels a lot more like a gadget, change of pace back, where Wisner runs like a bell cow. And I'd like to see Wisner start this week. I'd like to see him get more of the touches. And I think Blue is best spelling, your every down back. I just think his change of pace and his speed, he doesn't have the ability to just make people miss. He doesn't have the vision, the patience that Wisner has. And Wisner played great, man. So happy for him. That's a guy that you kind of overlooked coming into his recruiting because he's like a low 4 star. He wasn't one of our high 5 star guys. I think he was in Baxter's class actually. But dude looks awesome. So excited to see how far he can, how good he can be because sky's the limit for him. Gunnar Helm went off, of course. Best tight end in the country? Question mark. But yeah,
Okay, can I? Well, since we're on the Gunnar Helm topic, I kind of just thought about this the other day. Like, I like Ja'Tavion Sanders, but I think I like Gunnar Helm just a little bit more. Just a little bit more like his play style. He's way more physical, and he's way more physical like after the catch too. I think he's just maybe not as good. JT had better mitts, but Gunner's not too far off. He can high point a ball. He can make DBs look silly, and he's jumping over people. I don't know. I think I think maybe at the end of the year there's a discussion, and I think it's kind of close. But I'm really impressed by his development. And I'm really glad that he took that much of a step forward. And he's looking like Quinn. I thought going in this game was gonna be Bond or Golden being his best friend. It was Gunnar Helm. It was Gunnar Helm. He was the guy getting everything. And I like that we get to use our true freshman 5 star wide receiver like everyone else does in the country. He's a real weapon, man. He's so fast. He's so slender. His body control is great. He has great flashes as a freshman. Um, uh, I thought on the defense, just to go back to that a little bit. You mentioned Anthony Hill having a game. Colin Simmons was setting the edge, man. He was setting the edge. Um, uh, OU's running game comes in at like a counter, like off tackle type of thing, going opposite way, and I guess that's just a fool linebackers, and it doesn't fool Colin Simmons. And when you see Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons lined up on the same time, dude, on the same side, it looks magical. It just looks so good. Like they're going to be an even better duo next year, and that's even crazier to think about. But yeah, I just want to make sure Colin Sims gets his due. He's already ready to play in big time in big time moments. He's ready to go. He was everything he was hyped up to be coming out of college. I know. What do you go again? The Panthers. Who are they again? The high school football team. I forget.
Duncanville.
Duncanville. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew they had like a past with some edges not working out. But he is everything that we wanted, and I'm glad we won out against LSU because he's an immediate impact type of player. I'd be amiss if we didn't mention Derek Williams out for the season. That's crazy. That was awful. It was like the first play back out of the half. That was saddening to see. We're deep back there. Taft looks like a player that can hang in the SEC, which is very nice. But there's a lot of depth and a lot of talent like moving around back there. But it is sad to see Derek Williams go down. He was having such a good season. He was only getting better.
Yeah, it sucks. It feels like he was, just forcing turnovers left and right, just very impactful. I know he missed most of the year, so he's going to be able to preserve a red shirt if he wants it.
Oh, that's perfect.
NFL guy, but he only played 4 games. But yeah, man, overall, I just you're so happy with the way the defense played. Offense left so much to be desired. Honestly, Quinn played like freshman year Quinn, which he
I
turned it on
know.
later. He turned it on later, but you wish he'd start faster. But you get it. He's been out a while, and OU's coked up for this game, and it's not going to be just automatic. But yeah, I thought he settled in well. And last thing I'll say is OU just kind of they're entering the dark. we talked
Dude,
about
there's some dark times coming, brother. There is some dark times coming.
yeah. So I don't know, man. They got South Carolina this week, and they could very well lose that. They're at home, but I don't know, man. Brent Venables, I prayed for this. I prayed for this. It's complete. Like go back to 2017, 2018. The roles have completely reversed, completely. So it's nice. The Horns got it back. Golden Hats in Austin. 2 of the last 3 have gone to Texas in blowouts. So we can feel it
And
shift.
blowouts.
Yeah. Yeah. So overall, man, it was an awesome experience. I was, with this team, we went down, but I was like, I never thought we were going to lose the game. There was never like worry. You're just so confident with this team, and that's something that Trevor was talking about in the group text. Like even with this Georgia game coming up, like we could lose, but like I know that we're like a really like we'll probably win. Like we're just a very complete team that's consistent, knock on wood, and we know what we are, and it's not nearly as sporadic as it was, especially with Herman. We'd show up one week and then look terrible the next. We're just consistently taking care of business so far. Hopefully, we continue to do that. But you just built so much trust in this team and the veterans. Shout out the O line. They played insane against OU. Their body in those and they have a good D line, a good front seven. That was the strength of their team that they were harping on all week, and Texas just manhandled them for the most part in the trenches. So that's what makes it so exciting. It's built from the ground up as it should be. So, anyways, any last thoughts on OU, or should we hop into the Georgia game?
Yeah, just one more thing. It's just this team is built the right way. It's built like a national championship contender. There aren't going to be many. We're not going to get blown out this season. I guarantee you that. It's going to be close games, we're doing the blowing out.
Yeah.
It's it's good to see, and I'm glad that it's coming together. This kind of feeling, kind of I don't know, 6-0 feels outrageous to be like I don't it to be bowl eligible already to give us some kind of award already. I don't know. It's good to see the consistency, and it's good to see everything working out.
Yeah, definitely. It's just crazy that the um the point differential, like through the first 6 games, this is like an
Yeah, we're
hour.
not giving up stuff. Yeah,
It's like compared to like the '05 team and other great teams we've had, it's never been like it's a 240 point differential through 6 games, which is basically unheard of. So I know we haven't played the most dynamic offenses, but like I've said, winning in the big house that easily, just dominating them, dominating your rival OU in their Super Bowl with a bunch of 4 and 5 star guys that they have, just that easy, like that that doesn't just happen. That doesn't just happen.
that
So
counts for something. That's not a blip or anomaly or something.
yeah, exactly. So, anyways, man, it's great. It's a great time to be a Longhorn, but yeah, we got a big one this week though, even bigger than last week. Um, Georgia comes to town. Right now, Texas is favored by 3.5. It'll be a night game in DKR, and I think this has the potential to be quite possibly the most electric atmosphere that we've seen in a long, long time in DKR. Because we were there in the 2019 LSU game. We were in the student section fighting for our lives in that tunnel, and that was electric.
I yeah yeah. If that was electric, I can only imagine what Georgia's gonna be like.
Bro. You were in the tunnel with me, right? Like going into the game.
Yes. There were the women and children were screaming. I've never been in such a serious atmosphere right before a game. And then we got to the seats, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay, glad I'm here. But yeah, it was a whole ordeal trying to get in.
Yeah. And that was amazing as like a fan spectator experience. That was a great LSU team, but we lost that game. That was like we were barely top 10. That team, 2019 Texas was not good. We like went to the whatever bowl that year, and we were early contenders. It was early in the year, and this one, it's an SEC conference game. It's our first chance to really debut in the SEC. I know Hail State was an SEC game, but this is what it's all about. DKR is complete now. The bowl is closed in. The light shows, the drones, everything. It's all dialed in now, and we have the team to back it up. So I think should be some fireworks in DKR Saturday. Should be electric, and I'm looking forward to being there for that one. So, anyways, I think this game, just getting into it, we can't have Quinn. Obviously, we can't have Quinn play the way he played against OU. That's fair to say, right?
Yeah. I need him. I can't have Rusty Quinn like figuring out for the first 2 drives. This team is already so angry and that we're about to play, and like they're playing for their I wouldn't say playoff lives, but like I don't know, reputational lives. Like
Yeah.
they lose another game, like they're in the tier below. Like they're or whether they like it or not, but they're in the tier below. So we've got like a rabid animal per se coming into coming into our home.
Yeah, they're definitely in rabid animal mode, and that's dangerous. I mean, Kirby Smart. I respect the machine that he's built. You know, they've showed some cracks in the foundation over the last year, and even go back to last year a little bit, but they're still a problem. They're still the standard of the SEC until proven otherwise. I know they lost to Alabama, but that was a coin flip at the end, and that was on the road. So this is still Georgia's conference as far as I'm concerned. I hope our team approaches it that way. And yeah, they got more 5 stars than we do probably. This when they talked about us joining the SEC. This is what they're talking about. Like when you're playing these teams across from you, they're going to have as much talent as you for the most part, and Georgia is an example of that. So, on on the other side of the token, I think that our team is excited for this because everyone's just saying that we haven't played anyone. I mean, you go on these SEC podcasts left and right, they're trying to discredit us. Like Texas hasn't played anyone, but they've said that before OU, and they're like OU's going to give them some problems with that defense, and sure enough, they didn't. So hopefully this is a chance to just kill that narrative once and for all and just prove that Texas is the darling of the SEC. Texas is the
Mhm.
national championship favorite. So, but we're finally playing a good quarterback, Carson Beck. I know he's not like Joe Burrow necessarily because we're used to playing elite quarterbacks here at Texas, at least the last couple of years. Joe Burrow, Kyler, Baker, all those guys that we've been, destroyed by. But our secondary, number 2 in the pass defense in the nation, finally getting a real test. They got some good receivers. I know they don't have a game breaker like Ladd McConkey necessarily or Brock Bowers, but Dylan Bell's come on. Oscar Delp's a good tight end. Anthony Edward or Evans is like really, really fast. It's a guy that can get past us. Um, Arian Smith's there. So they got players and their O line's good. Their O line can give Carson Beck some time if our D line's not playing a good game, and that could become problematic on the back end. So that's the matchup to watch. Our defense versus their offense, and I don't know. Do you think Carson Beck's not been great on the road? He's been kind of like Quinn, just up and down. Good, like a high floor quarterback, but not necessarily elite all the time. And he's struggled on the road, especially. So I think this is a chance where you have to get after him early and get him uncomfortable. What do you think about Carson Beck?
I think you said it right there. He's a very like you're very comfortable with Carson Beck, but I don't know. I'm getting flashes of that Bama game, and at the end of the game, he's throwing jump balls, like at the very least. Um, he's not a guy that likes to play it safe when things are when it's a close game. So I think he's very susceptible to like forcing things and making mistakes. Um, he does have a little Quinn in him when it comes to like the riding the ups and downs, but I don't feel like his ups are as up or as high as Quinn's. So I'll give I like Quinn better in the sense that like he can give you that it's in him to go for 303. You know what I mean? I don't know if Carson can necessarily do that when it's called upon him. But he came in this season with a lot of hype. You know, he was above. He was definitely the consensus number 1 quarterback, at least going into the season, from what I remember. And Quinn was not given that much respect, but I think it's more even now than we think. But I think he's no Stetson Bennett, that's for sure. He's not that much of in command of the offense, and again, he doesn't have the weapons that he had either. So I think he's very susceptible. If it's a close game, which very likely. Playing for their lives, I think I like our defense to get to them.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. I think historically, in a game like this, a huge game, you just you would if you had to pick one, you'd pick Quinn in a big game, home game, Carson Beck on the road, and I think I'd rather have Quinn at quarterback, personally, especially with our weapons. But a couple like injury things. Smale Munden, I think that's how you say his name. He just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
ruled out for this game. He's like their all SEC linebacker, so that's significant. He didn't play last week either against Hail State, I don't think. So he's still going to be out. Their defense has shown a lot of cracks, honestly. I mean, I watched that Hail State highlights against them. They put up like over 300 yards passing on them. That Michael Van Buren guy was cooking them a little bit. And not just, I mean, Georgia scored too. Georgia was cooking them as well. They have a good offense. But you think of Georgia, you think of like just a stellar lockdown defense. And this year, their secondary kind of sucks, and their D line's not getting pressure like they used to. So there's no excuses for Texas not to put up at least 30 points. I want at least 40, honestly. I think 40 is a reasonable goal um, for Quinn and company. And I think Isaiah Bond will play. It was apparently just nothing more like a precautionary reason for him to be out against OU because we knew we were going to win that game. But you got even if he for some reason isn't playing or is not 100%, you got guys like Wingo and Golden and whoever else, Jonte, DeAndre Moore, Bolden that can stress the secondary out too. And then Gunnar Helm, of course. Don't forget Gunnar Helm. But I think our offense needs to be ready to put up some points against Georgia because I think they'll find ways to score as well. So I don't know. Additionally, Georgia's backup running back Branson Robinson's out for this game too. He got hurt against Hail State, so Trevor Etienne's a good running back, but behind them they're going to have a freshman now. I think his name's Nick Frazier. I'm not sure what his name is, but apparently he's supposed to be good. They always have good running backs at Georgia. They're basically one of the RBUs. So uh, that's the matchup to watch. Our D line versus their O line. I think that'll swing the game because I'm confident with our O line against their D line. But if our
Yeah.
D line can dominate their O line, then we'll be cooking.
I think one thing that's interesting going into this game, or maybe this game in particular, and where we are in the middle of the season in the SEC schedule, um, you look at Bama and you look at Georgia's defense, and I mean you saw it against Vandy, you saw it against Mississippi State, Kentucky, all these teams, even UAB to a certain extent, like their defenses are not these lockdown iron curtains that we're used to, which is very shocking to see. Um, Somehow they're used that against us to say, we're not playing against good defenses, and SEC was never what it was made out to be. Yada yada yada. But I think this is a cool spot to be in the middle of the season to kind of shift that narrative into like fully in our favor of saying that we have the best defense, and I get probably the best offense, or arguably the best offense in the SEC. I don't know. You just used to seeing. Like usually, I would feel like if you're going to this game, you're like, I don't know how we're gonna score. Maybe they don't know how to score against us either, but at the very least, you knew like their defense was going to be something to contend with. But like you said, I don't see that being the biggest problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's weird because we're so used to Georgia having, like you're saying, this elite defense. Back in 2017, Roquan Smith, all those guys that kind of started that all the way through 2022. But now, I'm not going to say that like this is kind of crazy talk, but with all these off the field issues that you see with Georgia, it's like every week someone's getting arrested, or I don't know. It feels like there's a chance. I'm not saying this like is the reality of the situation that Kirby Smart's kind of getting close to the end of his run at Georgia. I'm not saying like like they're going to
You're
be
making a hot take, bro.
yeah, I just think there's a lot of cracks that we're seeing come out of the foundation, and I think a game like this, let's say Texas rolls, not saying it's going to happen. Texas wins by a couple touchdowns. They're going to start having that conversation. Like, is Georgia being, the dynasty? The dynasty is definitely gone at that point, right? And then they're going to start wondering about Kirby and all the discipline issues. So that's wishful thinking on my part, I guess. Is Texas enters the SEC, and I want us to be the new big dog, but not that I don't respect Georgia, of course. Georgia's been that team for a while now. But anyway, it's a big game. I mean, if you lose this game, you don't want to have the tiebreaker situation with Georgia having that against us. I mean,
Yeah,
because down the stretch, we don't really play any more SEC title contenders. I guess A&M's technically one because they're 3-0 in conference, but
we'll
they'll
see when
fall
we
off.
get there.
Yeah, they'll fall off per usual. But Georgia, you get the tiebreaker over Georgia, then you're sitting real pretty for getting to Atlanta. Because you lose to drop one to Vanderbilt or whoever, Arkansas, you can eat that if you have the tiebreaker over Georgia, and then whatever happens with Alabama and Tennessee and LSU, all those teams. So I don't know, man. It's an exciting spot to be in, 6-0, and a chance to really just make a statement. Everybody's gonna be watching this game. It's the game of the week by far.
Yeah, and I think also just you said like there's cracks in the foundation. I remember going to this season, with Alabama, where like they still got that roster, they still have a good team, and they're still Bama. We won't believe that they're bad until we see it. And then we saw it. We saw the cracks, you know. We saw the cracks, and you're like, that's a they're keeping it close against teams they should probably be blowing out. Um, but then it just kind of happens all of a sudden, and I don't know. I'm not saying that's gonna happen this weekend, but don't be surprised because it's sometimes it's sudden. I think it happened with Clemson too. 'Cause sometimes like one season to the next, it's just you know it's just bad. I mean, given that Clemson is actually doing kind of well this year in the ACC, but uh, like especially for last year, it just kind of happens. So I wouldn't count that entirely out.
Right, right. So, how are you feeling about this game? Trevor sent in us our prediction. He sent his prediction in for this one. He's got Texas winning 34-24. He says the MVP of the game has to be Quinn Ewers. That's his pick. Um, so he's expecting a big game out of Quinn. Big game Quinn showing up, and then Ant Hill's his defensive MVP, and that's another thing I'm excited to see is just Ant Hill and Colin Simmons again on national TV. I don't think the nation really understands yet how good these guys are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to showcase them again. But how about you, Madrid? How do you see this game going?
Okay. At first I really thought this was going to be a nail biter, but I do really like that we're at home. That is a huge advantage, especially having Georgia travel all the way to Texas. Um, at first I was feeling a good 28-24, something kind of like last drive situation, but I'm just thinking about their defense and I don't maybe I'm being very disrespectful, but I just don't see them stopping us as often as they think they are. There's a lot of teams that thought they were going to stop us, but I don't think that's the case. I think playing at home for our defense is such an advantage that they feed off D Caro's energy all the time. They get up to play at home. Carson Beck is susceptible to making mistakes or floating balls and just making things kind of easy on the back end for receivers. I wouldn't trust his deep ball as much as I trust, other QB prospects. So I think, and I feel like if we can end it by the third quarter, that we have a good chance of shutting anything down of a comeback. So I think it's going to be 34-17. Basically double up on them on points. I don't think they can score against a lot against our defense. So I don't see I don't see a trend where we're in some of the best point differential like you said. I don't see that being swung one like spiking in 1 week, and especially not against Carson Beck. So 34-17 Texas.
Okay, so you got us covering pretty big. I see that. I see that scenario playing out so well in my head, like 2008 Missouri. Texas is number one in the country. You just spank OU. Everyone's crowning you, and then you get a primetime home game against a top 10 team, and it's just like a party. It's just a celebration. Like
The party keeps going. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be a butt whooping. And I see that. I want that to happen so badly, but I feel like I I don't know. This is Georgia has to win this game, right? Georgia.
Yeah.
I hate that they beat Alabama because it puts them in, like you said, rabid, wounded animal mode, and uh, they're known for their slow start, which also works against them. Like my brain is telling me Texas gets on them early and just runs them out of the building because we are the better team on paper. My eyes, like eye test, we're the better team. I mean, it's not just Texas fans. Like everyone's saying this, and I trust Sark to get this team to show up, even as a
They're
favorite.
saying the right things, man. They're saying the right things.
Yeah, it's such a mature team, but I'll take the bullet, I guess. I mean, someone's got to pick Georgia, right?
I
So
respect it. I respect it.
I'll take Georgia to win and a nail biter off a field goal last second. I'll say it's a high scoring game. Let's say 41-37 or 41-38. Georgia wins. Carson Beck plays his best game of his career. And you know what? Georgia winning this game, it would suck, but like everything's still out there for Texas to accomplish.
Everything is still more than possible.
Yeah, so I'll give Georgia the win. I know their fans are known for traveling, and this is as big as a road game you can draw up. I'm sure there'll be a lot of red in the crowd. I mean, playing in Austin, playing the number one team in the country. Austin will be on fire this weekend, and um, so I guess I'll pick Georgia here. I guess Quinn has another bad game if this happens, and then if that happens, then we're dealing with the
Oh,
arch combo, and
the
that's a
arch, the arch, dude. If Quinn has a bad game and we lose, that arch train is gonna be so loud,
yeah,
so loud.
it's frustrating, honestly, and part of me like understands that. Like
Oh, I don't blame people at all. I don't fight about. I used to fight against it because he was a freshman, but I've seen proof of product. I would feel comfortable.
yeah, Arch just gets
I
through reads, he
Yeah,
finds an open man, and he's got a cannon. Like he's just
he's got a cannon. Oh my god.
so
Uh, I I don't mean to ooze about Arch right now, but like there are things that he does so much better than Quinn right now, and it's apparent, and it's like keeping. I don't. It's like just hard to keep that locked up. There are
yeah,
obviously as a whole product, as a finished product, Quinn has the complete package that you want. It's just that the tantalizing X factor that comes with a recruit like that who knows how to work through a system and knows how to execute at that young of age is very enticing, and I understand it.
yeah. No, it definitely crossed all of our minds. I would imagine after the
When
first
Quinn
couple
threw
games.
that pick, I was a little like, "Hey, don't do that again."
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it, but don't do that again.
yeah. Don't make us have this conversation.
Yeah, don't make me.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be an awesome game. So you got
Yeah.
Texas big. Trevor's got Texas big as well by 10. I'm taking the bullet, Georgia by 30. But it's gonna be an awesome game, man. Game day's in town, and big spot here for Texas to showcase what we're all about. I guess before we get off here, I'll do our normal thing. What receiver has the best game for Texas this week?
Wow. I feel like it's literally a lottery every single time. It's insane. Man. You know what? Give me some Wingo magic, bro. Let's keep it going. I feel like he gets more involved, or at least has a big player to every game so far, and he keeps making these plays. They don't use him in a lot of creative ways, but the ways he is used like suits his skill sets very well. Give me Wingo.
I'm glad you said that because I forgot to mention Wingo has to play more. He needs to get at least
He needs to play more. His
6 to 8 touches a game, dude. Every time he touches the ball for the most part, he takes it at least 30, 40 yards every time.
It's a big play waiting to happen every single time. I like our older guys, but they don't do what he does.
Yeah. He's our most explosive guy, and that includes Isaiah Bond, I would say.
That
And
includes Isaiah
very
Bond.
explosive too.
I almost said best receiver. I won't say that, but definitely a most explosive guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, Bond's more versatile in that
Yeah.
game. But yeah, I guess I'll go off the grid. I'm gonna say it's a big DeAndre Moore game. You know, he does everything right. Great blocker. He had a good catch at OU. I say he gets lucky on Saturday and gets a couple touchdowns and doesn't get lucky, but he's the one that
He
benefits.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah, so give me DeAndre Moore and
Like it.
but yeah, man. Well, that's it from us. Oh, real fast, real fast. Bama or Tennessee Saturday? Who you got? It's in Neyland Stadium, Knoxville.
Tennessee, are they undefeated or they have one? They have one loss, right?
Yeah, they lost to Arkansas on that upset.
Lost to Arkansas. But you know what? It's in Knoxville. I'm gonna go Tennessee. I'm going Tennessee.
Okay.
I think anyone can hang with Bama at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy how far Bama's
I
fallen
can't
from
believe I
us.
said that, but yeah,
But yeah, you're fading your boy Milrow, but that's all right. I'll take
it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. He felt like a shoe in to be in the Heisman, and now he's shaky. I don't know what it is. He regresses when games get kind of I don't know. He struggles to throw the ball over the middle of the field when things get dicey. Yeah, I don't know. He regresses a little bit, and it's sad. It's disheartening to see.
yeah. I'll take Alabama here. I know it's in Neyland, and that's very, very, very tough environment to win in, especially right now. But I think Milrow's a better quarterback than Nico. Nico's been really bad recently. Honestly, it's kind
Yeah,
of surprising after how fast he started this year. So I'll take DeBoer, I'll take Milrow, Ron Williams, all those guys to honestly, I'll take them in a comfortable win. I think they handle business and get back on track this weekend. But that'll be
I
fun, man. I'll
respect
be
it.
out there tailgating somewhere watching that around DKR. Nice little appetizer before the main event of Texas, Georgia.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching, especially if y'all made it this far. Leave us a comment, like everything. We really appreciate it. Uh, big game this weekend. So thank y'all for
Let's get
watching,
it.
and we'll see y'all on the next one. Hook 'em.
Welcome.